Hi, my name is Tim Yott. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at USA Triathlon. I'll be conducting the pre-race briefing for the 2013 USA Triathlon Youth and Junior National Championship. We'll shoot for this to be no longer than 30 minutes, so welcome. If at any time during this presentation you have questions, we will ask for you to do is to actually take note, and then you can drop us an email at nationalevents@usatriathlon.org, and we'll be happy to answer the questions as we ramp up to race day in a few weeks. The first thing that we want to touch bases with you on is the schedule of events. Starting with Friday, August 2nd, we'll have a swim warm-up opportunity at Voice of America Park, which is the beautiful park there in Westchester, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. That is the only hour outside of the kids clinic we'll just briefly touch on next that you'll be able to actually get into this body of water for your swim. From 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. will be the kids clinic. You must pre-register for this activity, again, at Voice America Park. There is a maximum limit for 100 people to participate, so we ask that you please do that as soon as you possibly can. It is a free kids clinic, and that will be a walkthrough of each of the 3 disciplines for the upcoming event. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. will be the packet pickup, again at the lodge there, which sits on the body of water. 1 o'clock will be the youth age group rules briefing at the Meridian Conference Center in the Wingate Hotel. That is a mandatory meeting this year. We need for everyone to be firmly aware of what the rules of the event will be. So we'll ask for all athletes and parents and or coaches and others who are going to be at the event to make certain that everyone that is there to hear what it is you'll have to be abiding by come race day. Then we'll have a youth elite and junior elite race briefing at 2 p.m. That will not apply to most of you since this is a youth age group orientation. And then at 3 p.m. we have the relay race briefing in the same location. On Saturday, it gets a little bit crazier with the junior elites and the youth elites competing on that particular day. We will invite, obviously, all of the age group athletes to come out and watch and yell on your favorite athletes. But the activities for you guys will be the expo at 8 a.m. to approximately 1 p.m. And then you will do your packet pickup for those arriving late from 10 a.m. to noon there at the lodge. And then if you want to stick around and watch all the events, you see the schedule there for that, and then it will culminate with the elite award ceremony at 1:30 on the grassy area right in front of the lodge. On Sunday, race day. Transition will open at 6:30 a.m. The relays will begin at 8 a.m. The relays will end at 9:30 a.m. for the youth and junior elites, who will be comprising various relays in that time frame. The youth age group transition will open at 9:30 a.m. We'll then have the award ceremony for the relays, which will be top 3, and then we'll slide right into the start of the age group racing at 10:20 a.m. for boys 13 to 15 and girls 13 to 15. 10:25 a.m. will be boys 11-12, girls 11-12. The transition will close for youth age group at 10:30. We'll then slide into the girls and boys closing for the course at 11:10. Boys 9:10, girls 9:10 will be 11:20, and 11:25 for the boys 7-8, girls 7-8. The course will close at 12:05 for those 7 to 10, and then we'll follow it up with an award ceremony at 12:30 p.m. there on the grassy area in front of the lodge. We will get into the particular details of the start in an upcoming slide. The packet pickup procedures, as we noted, Friday, August 2nd at Voice America Park inside the lodge will be the 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. registration period. The late packet pickup, which we also noted, was 10 a.m. to noon. If you are outside of those hours, you will not be able to get your packet for the event, so we ask and encourage all of you to show up in that time frame. You will be required to have your membership card with you. If you do not have your card, you can print a temporary card off the USA Triathlon site. All athletes must be present to receive their packet and their goodie bag. That is critical. Athletes under 18 must bring a Metro Parks waiver signed by the parent or legal guardian. That waiver is available on the USA Triathlon website, so please print that before you depart for the venue and make sure you have that with you when you come for packet pickup. Parking on race day, very, very critical that everybody follow these very simple rules. Now, the parking will be available on the VOA soccer fields. You must park on this location. There will not be parking allowed on the course or in the lots that are within the park right next to the lodge. That will not be allowed. We will tow cars if we find there are any violations of this very simple rule. One of the other things you'll need to do is to enter the park is purchase a daily $5 hang tag. That will be required based on all park permitting that's in place. If you are going to be running around that park area for more than that one day, we would advise that you purchase the $10 hang tag, which will cover you for the duration that you are actually in Westchester in the park area. A visual for you to know exactly where that parking space is being allocated. You will actually be coming off of Cox Road. You'll take the left or right-hand turn, depending on where you're coming from, into the VOA Park Drive. And where you see the P, again, where the soccer fields are located, will be just to your right, is where you will actually position your vehicle. There is an option to park just a little bit to the north of that, nearest the body of water, but that lot will fill up very quickly. So more than likely, unless you were one of the first ones there at the venue, that will not be a parking option for you. Something that's new for this year is your, right here, your exit point will be different from previous years. Previously, you would actually return course and you go out this way towards Cox Road. Now to exit the park so that you stay off the course is simply a road that extends beyond the parking area, moving you to the south. So that will actually get you to where you need to be, off the roads where athletes are participating. There are also closed car access times that are very clear. 8:05 to 9 a.m. on Saturday, 9:45 to 10:35 a.m., 11:05 to 11:40, and 12:05 to 12:40. On Saturday, August 3rd, you will not be able to gain access into the park in those time frames. On Sunday, August 4th, the same thing applies. 8 a.m. to 9:25 a.m., 10:20 to 11 a.m., and 11:20 to 11:50 a.m. You will not be able to gain access to the park. So please be very, very clear that when you are trying to get to the park, that you avoid those range of times for those two particular days. Once you do park in these areas, there will be walking paths. You'll be able to walk just on the side of the road to get to transition, which is located right here, body of water there. The lodge is right there. If you're parking here, there's a little pathway here that you can take to get onto the area where you will need to take your bike and prepare for the event. Now, when you arrive at packet pickup, there will be some things that you will collect. We will move right to that portion of the presentation at this time. Sticker. These are what we call sticker sheets, and each sticker sheet has numbers that will go in various places. Let's start off with the swim cap. This is a standard USA Triathlon swim cap with a number. You will have 2 swim cap numbers. All right? In order to get these numbers on your cap, you put the cap on your head, and on each side, right and left, you'll actually place that number. Tamp it a little bit with your hand, press and seal it so that it firmly affixes to the cap. And you will hold that on your head for about a minute, and it should be holding true. You then take your cap off, put it back in your bag, and you should be set. The helmet number, let's go to the helmet number right here. You will have 3 helmet numbers. First helmet number goes on the front, others go on the sides, right and left. Front, right, and left. Your body number, as we show with the arrow right here. Body number, if you have a race belt, you'll get 2 of them, these numbers here, and those numbers will affix to each other so that they stay firmly over the race belt that you'll be racing with. It's same size, so you should not have any worry about sticking to your body or sticking to your shirt if you so choose not to do it that way. If, though, you do not have a race belt, you'll actually affix to your front and the back of your racing jersey. Same thing applies. You put the jersey on, you affix the number so that it adheres to that particular material, and then you can take the piece off. You have also another number. We're going to move to that screen next. Your bike number. These 2 numbers right here, they're actually connected. You see that right there, so that it stays to your seat post. It should be visible from both sides. If by chance you do not have space in your seat post, you can put it right here on the brake calipers, and that again must be visible from both sides. The final number, which is this number right here, is something you can place on a bag. You can place in the other items. Maybe a parent or a coach or someone else might be carrying around for you. There is no bag drop, so this will not be for purposes of you putting on a bag so you can drop it off at a USAT tent. This is simply something for, again, a significant other or a parent or a coach or someone to use to identify your particular bag. Body marking, very simple. The standard numbering, both arms, side of both legs, and then we'll have age on the back of your calf. This will be done as you enter the transition area on race morning. As we noted earlier, the rules briefing will be done by the head referee, Jay Ritterbeck, a person very familiar with the rules that will be in place. That will again be August 2nd at 1 p.m. at the Meridian Conference Center at the Wingate Hotel. And for this year, it is a mandatory meeting, and we expect every person competing in the race to be there with someone, a coach or parent, so they too can hear what is being discussed, described by Jay Ritterbeck. Some of the rules that you can expect that you need to know before you depart: no aero bars of any kind allowed on your bars, no disc wheels of any kind, no aero-style bike helmets, and then no unauthorized assistance of any kind, which is essentially where parents of youth events seem to get in trouble. This is going to be very, very clearly stated by the announcer at the event that you cannot pace, you cannot hand off items or receive items from your kids. Very, very clear that these are the 4 probably most critical rules that you'll find in place. We also encourage you to go to the USA Triathlon site and read through the other rules that are also in place prior to departing, and then that'll be simple for you to listen to Jay and hear what he has to say at the race briefing that will extend information beyond what you see here. Bike check-in will be that morning, as we noted in the original schedule, the 9:30 a.m. to 10:20 a.m. on Sunday. Absolutely required that the bikes be placed within that time frame. You have about 50 minutes, as you see from the schedule here. Must have your wristband that you receive in your bag and your bike number. Number should be affixed. The bike support will be extended to you by Trek Bicycles, the same group that was there last year. They're there to help you not only before the race, but if anything happens during the event, they will be there to offer whatever need you might have as well. Only athletes will be allowed in transition. This is a very common rule regulation of USA Triathlon's Youth and Junior National Championships, to the extent that every kid should know how to set up their bike. So if you need to practice that with your son or daughter prior to arriving at the event, please do so. You could be on the perimeter of the fence to guide them, but we will not allow for coaches or anyone not competing to be in the transition zone during this time. Race morning, we talked about that originally with the parking map. Make sure you only park in the designated area. There will be no excess bags in transition, only race essentials, which means only those things you have to have for the race. There will be no buckets, there will be no sponges, no other things like that. so we'll be very clear about that again during the race announcements. There is no bag check-in tent, so all athletes must leave their bags at their team tent or with a family member in attendance or a coach. Bike support, again, provided by Trek Bike Store, and then the transition will be that 50-minute time frame that we also so duly noted previously. The swim course, and we'll get to an actual visual map in the next screen. One lap course, 7 to 10-year-olds will do 100 meters, 11 to 15-year-olds will do 200 meters. We do anticipate a wet legal swim because the water temperature currently is about 80 degrees. So plan on that. Not required, but certainly an option. Time trial in water starts, and it'll be a rectangular swim. The clockwise direction that people will swim, your buoys will always remain on the right. Your yellow triangular buoys will be your turn buoys, and anything else out there will be guide buoys. Support on the water will be numerous. You'll have boats, lifeguards, and personal watercraft. And we ask that everyone please make certain that you show up at the start area at least 10 minutes before your respective wave start. We will be lining you up by race number prior to the start of the wave. That will mean that for many of these waves, there will not be any separation between the age divisions if you are starting at about the same time with this other group. So it will go fast, and we really need for your cooperation, parents and coaches, in getting everybody lined up in as quickly as a time frame as we can. The actual course, as you'll see here, is fairly simple. It is a swim that will position people here in the water. 7 to 10-year-olds will do this, and then you'll exit this direction into transition. For the 11, 15-year-olds, same thing, positioned here, move into the water, swim a little bit farther out. Again, always keeping buoys to your right. It's a rectangular swim, very easy to follow. Be nearly impossible not to navigate that swim. We'll repeat what we said originally. It is 11, 15-year-olds, for the bike course, we got 2 laps, 10K in distance. The bike course for the youth age group will be 1 lap, 5K distance. That'll be for the 7, 10-year-olds. It's a very flat course. Roads will be closed to traffic, and there are no aid stations on the course, which means if you're used to drinking or eating anything on the bike, you'll need to bring that with you. The course will be very easy to follow. You'll be coming out of the water into transition area. It's always a through transition, which means you start at one end, you exit the other. You make your way out onto Liberty Way, which is the road that is contiguous to the body of water and the running path that you'll be doing for the run. You do not make it out to Butler Warren Road. You actually do a U-turn in the road before that. Come back on Liberty Way. You take the left-hand turn on Cox, and you stay on Cox until about the shopping center, where you'll do a U-turn, come back toward the park, take the right-hand turn into the park, round the roundabout in the park, take the right-hand turn, which is the only road you can take to get into the park, right back to transition. For those who are 7 to 10 years old, you'll move in transition zone, and then you'll be out on the run. For those that are 11 to 15, your second lap will keep you to the left of transition, where you'll simply repeat the same course that you just rode. And then you will mount or dismount right here into transition, and away you go onto the run. 1 lap, 7 to 10-year-olds, 2 laps for 11 to 15-year-olds. The run course for youth age group is 11 to 15-year-olds will do 1 lap of 2K. For 7 to 10-year-olds will be 1 lap of 1K. The entire run will be done on the running path that is right next to where the body of water is, contiguous to the body of water. We'll show you in the next map. There'll be 1 aid station containing Gatorade, water, and goo, and obviously there will be volunteers on the course to make certain that you do stay on course, but there will also be cones and other items so that you absolutely cannot get lost on this course. And here are the visual representations of the run course. You'll exit transition, run onto the path, turn around on the path, come back, and the finish line this year is different than the finish line last year. Last year it was over by transition. The finish line this year is right here where that red dot is. You'll finish, you'll have all the other things that you know that are there at the post-race tent, food and drink, medical, and everything else. For the 11, 15-year-olds, it's the same general process. You'll actually go just beyond the point on the trail that extends beyond the tip of the swim area, turn around on the path in reverse field, again back to the finish line area that we noted is here, the same place, for 7, 10-year-olds, 11, 15-year-olds. Transition, very clearly marked, the mount lines and dismount lines, which will be policed very carefully by officials. As you know, you must always mount behind the line, beyond the line. You will dismount in front of the line, and we'll go through that in the rules briefing as well as a reminder to everybody what the expectation will be. There will also be officials there to help you make certain you do that correctly. Bike racks individually numbered, so you do not need to get there early to get your bike in position. You will have your space on the bike racks. There are no parents or coaches allowed in transition area. Only race essentials allowed in transition. Everything else needs to be stored with the parent or coach. And the bike checkout will begin at approximately 12 o'clock on that Sunday. To show a little bit of the flow of the event, we will go from water's edge up the path, enter transition after the swim. You'll now be moving onto the bike. Again, you always move through transition, bike out onto the bike course, do your loops. Again, for the 7, 10-year-olds, 1 loop, and then you're in transition. For those 11 to 15, you'll be doing your second lap, which will take you here back onto the course. When the second lappers, 2 lappers, are back in, same thing, transition, move to transition zone, run out opposite end that you entered the bike. Now you're on the run, you are running on the path, running down the path as we just showed you, back into the finish line area. All tents will be set up in this general area here. We may allow you to have tents along this road section here. We'll let you know that on race day, but what we'd like to see you do is to have all your tents in this general area here. Very key, at the end of every day, tents must be broken down and then set up in the following morning, and here's the times that we're going to lock you in. 6 a.m. you can start setup, must be torn down by the time you leave. Setup, again, 7:30, races will start. We'd like for everything to be ready to roll by that time. Again, the mount lines, dismount lines will be here. You must be beyond the line for your mount and must be in front of the line for dismount here. We'll talk about those again during the race briefing. Here's a venue map. That'll give you a little bit more of a pictorial of where certain things are located. We will not go into this with any detail, but in general, you've got your swim start area, your transition, your finish. You've got your elite lounge for the youth elite, junior elite athletes, which is number 1. So everything is number coded. It coincides with where everybody's going to be positioned here. You've got your post-race food location, obviously behind the finish line area, right here to the side. You've got your toilets, which are going to be over here next to where the bike will take place, and so on and so forth. So make sure you look at this before you show up at the venue, and you'll have a pretty good idea where everything's going to be positioned. Aid stations, there'll be only 1 aid station, again, none for the bike. The one on the course will have Gatorade G-Series Pro Endurance Formula, and then caffeine-free goo, water and ice, and as we noted, no bottle exchange on the bike course. So that is going to be clear what you can expect to see on the run course on race day. At the finish line, we have all the customary items. We have water, medical support, you get your finisher's medal, your post-race food will also be there just to the side of the finish line area. We have what we call a receipt printer where you'll be able to pick up your results you'll be able to see what your splits are. Any penalties that are posted by the head referees are also placed there, and then the results will also be on that same general board in that same general area that we'll post prior to the start of the award ceremony, just after the head officials have deemed the results official. So anything that we post until we start the awards will be unofficial, so we can make corrections to the documents, to the results prior to the awards beginning. The award ceremony will be in the grassy area right next to the lodge where it was last year if you were in attendance in the 2012 event. Start approximately 12:30, run for about an hour. This year we changed it. We had awards last year in individual increments up to 11. This year we've broken them out so that each age is able to get an award all the way up to 15. We also have a youth paratriathlon athlete, which we're very excited to have. They will be competing alongside these other athletes. Their start time will be in cooperation with volunteers and everybody, getting people lined up right next to the age group that coincides with their start time. There will also be other awards that we give for the development team and then the Club National Championship awards. So we'll have those at the same time frame. Don't forget your parks waiver, very, very critical. Absent this, you will not be allowed access to the venue. So make sure you print this off the USA Triathlon website before you show up. Again, no waiver, no racing. We want to thank the incredible support crew we have on the ground in Westchester, the Butler County Visitors Bureau, Mark Heckey and Jason Williams, the Metro Parks of Butler County, Westchester Township, and the Trek Bicycle Store. Without those guys, this event in Westchester would not be possible. Also, the USA Triathlon Gold Partners, Active.com, Gatorade, Rudy Project, and TIR for all the great support that they're extending to this event. We'll talk about that at the awards ceremony, just how much they actually are giving back to the sport and what we're going to ask for you guys in exchange for their participation with this event. And we also want to thank all the volunteers who will be helping us on that day. If by chance you have any questions about this presentation, please email nationalevents@usatriathlon.org. They'll be happy to respond. And then if you have other questions that you don't want to email, you can certainly call the national office as well, or you can wait until the race briefing on race day, or excuse me, on the weekend of the event, and they'll be able to answer additional questions that you might have. We want to wish everybody very, very safe travels to the event. Looking forward to having all of you there. And with that, we will say good luck. Have a great race. We'll see you guys in a few weeks.